All right, let's continue this problem. Expanding d of x. Okay, so d of x then is going to be equal to, I'm going to expand now, once again, I'm going to expand basically by the top row. Okay, so I'm going to take the minus 2 sitting here, all right? So that's a minus 2, and then I'm going to look at the basically the second order determinant that I'm left with. So let me just show that blocking again, all right? So here is that blocking. Okay, what am I left with over here? Well, yes, I've got a 5, I've got a minus 2, I've got a minus 3, and I've got that 2, haven't I? All right, there's that. Okay, I'm going to expand again by the next term here, and that's what? That's going to be, remember our little rule there, and I'll write it over here again so we've got it. How does that go? Plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, okay? So I've got a minus here, haven't I? So that's what? That's really a minus 2. And then what have I got? I'm blocking here and blocking here. So really I've got my 27 sitting here. I've got my minus 33. And I've got what? This minus 2. And I've got this 2 sitting here. All right. Next term, well, that's a plus, isn't it? So it's a plus 1. So there's my plus 1. And I've got my determinant being what? Blocking, blocking. I'm left with what? A 27, a 33 or minus 33. And then I've got my 5, and I've got my minus 3 sitting here. All right. All right, so let's continue. So d of x is equal to what? I've got my minus 2. I'll open up a bracket. I've got what? A 5 times 2, which is what? A 10. Okay. And then I've got, what is this here? A minus times a minus gives me a plus, so it's a minus. Really, the multiplication of these two here, which is what? 2 3s are 6, so it's a minus 6. I'm going to close that bracket. Then I've got my minus 2. Open up a bracket. I've got 2 times 27, which is what? A 54. And then again, I've got a minus times a minus here, have I not? Which is what? 2 times 33, which is a 66, so it's a minus 66. Close the bracket. And then what have I got? I've got a plus 1. Open up a bracket. I've got basically a minus sitting here, haven't I? So that's 3 27s, which is a minus 81. And then I've got this guy here, which is 5 times 33, and there's a minus here, so it's a minus, which actually gives me a plus 165. I'm closing the bracket. So d of x is equal to, if I evaluate this, I've got a minus 8 sitting here. This gives me a plus 24, and then this will give me a plus 84, and if I work all that out, that gives me d of x being equal to 100. Now let's have a look at d of y. Okay, so d of y is equal to, once again, I'm going to expand this by really the top row, okay? So I'm going to take my first term over here. Remember our little rule again? Let me write it down. Plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. Okay, so we need to use this little rule in terms of the way we kind of add our components together in that expansion. So here's my 4. Okay, so I've got a plus 4 that's going to be sitting here. All right. And now I'm looking at my second order determinant. So I'm blocking here, am I not? And I'm blocking here. What am I left with? I'm left with a 27, a minus 33. I've got a minus 2 sitting here, and I've got a 2 sitting over here. Okay. Next term. All right. So look, that's a minus sitting there. So it's going to be a minus. Okay. So I've really got that minus sitting there, have I not? So let's think about that. That is a minus, and it's a minus 2, isn't it? Because that's a minus 2 sitting there, and the minus is that minus there, and that's multiplied by. Okay, so that's blocking. That's what are we left with? Well, we've got the 3 and the 5 and the minus 2 and the 2, haven't we? So I can put the 3, the 5, I've got the minus 2, and I've got the 2, haven't I? There it is. Okay. All right, the last term here, remember that's a plus. plus, that's a plus 1, isn't it? And my determinant here is what? So that's blocking here, I'm left with this, aren't I? Yep, so that is what? That is a 3, that is a 27, that is a 5, and that is a minus 33. Okay, good. So d of y is equal to what? Well, that's a 4. Okay, I'm going to open up a bracket here. Well, that's a 2 times 27, isn't it? So that's 2 times 27, okay? And then that's a minus. What's the multiplication of those two? Well, that's 66, and a minus times a minus gives me a plus. So really, that's a minus 66, isn't it? Yes. Then a minus times a minus here gives me a plus 2, doesn't it? Open up a bracket. What is this? 2 times 3, which is 6. 2 5s are 10. There's a minus sitting here, so it's a minus 10, which gives me a plus 10. Close the bracket. Then I've got what? I've got a plus 1 sitting here. Open up a bracket. I've got what? 3 times this 33, which is what? That's a minus 99, isn't it? Okay, and then I've got a 5 times 27, so it's a minus 5 times 27, so it's a minus 135. Close the bracket. Okay, so this is equal to 4, and what do we have here? Well, we actually have, if we work this out, we end up with a minus 12 sitting here. That's plus a 2, and we end up with a 16. And then I've got a plus 1, and really what I've got sitting over here is a minus 234, okay? All right, so if I work out this, I get that d of y is actually equal to a minus 250. All right, d of z, okay? Remember our little rule for expansion. That's a plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, okay? All right, so let's do this. We're going to expand once again by this top row over here. We're going to take our first term over here. So d of z is equal to what? A 4. Okay, it's a plus 4. And my second order determinant is now there, which is what? That's a 5, a 27, a minus 3, and a minus 33. So I'll write that down. That's a 5, that's a 27, that's a minus 3, and that's a minus 33. Okay? All right. Next term over here. That's a minus, isn't it? So that's a minus 2. And what am I left with? I'm blocking there, and I'm blocking there where the 2 is. So what am I left with? I've got a 3, a 5, a 27, and a minus 33, haven't I? So let's write that down. That's a 3, a 5, I've got a 27, and I've got a minus 33. Okay? All right, next one is what? It's going to be really a plus, isn't it? But it's a plus. It's a minus 2, so let's put that in a bracket. That's a minus 2. All right, that's blocking there. What am I left with? There's my second order determinant there, which is what? That is a 3, that is a 5, that is a 5, and that is a minus 3. Okay? All right. So let's work with this a little bit, okay? So dz is equal to, all right? We've got a 4. Open up a bracket. You've got the 5 times that 33 is a minus sitting there, so that's a minus, isn't it? That's a 165. And then I've got 3 times 27, it's got a minus, so it's a minus minus that, which gives me a plus 81. Close the bracket. All right, I've got a minus 2 sitting here, haven't I? Yep, and I've got what? Open up a bracket, I've got 3 times 33, which is what? A minus 99, isn't it? Okay, and then minus a 5 times 27, which is 135. Let me close the bracket. Then I've got this guy here, which is what? A minus 2. Open up a bracket, and what have I got? I've got 3 3s here, haven't I? Okay, which is a minus 9, and then I've got a minus 25, closing the bracket. Okay, taking this a little bit further. dz, or d of z, is equal to what? 4, and that's multiplied by a minus 84, close the bracket. That's a minus 2, working out what's inside the bracket here. That is a minus 234, closing the bracket. And then this is a minus 2, open up the bracket here, and this is a minus 34, okay? So we have d of z being equal to, just working this out, that's a minus 336. This guy is a minus times a minus, which gives me a plus 468. And then a minus times a minus gives me a plus, and that's a 68. And d of z is equal to 200. So again, by Cramer's rule, we can say that x is equal to what? It's dx, and that's divided by d. So that is what? Well, dx is 100, and d is a minus 50. And so that is equal to what? A minus 2. Yep. Y is equal to d of y divided by d. So that is equal to what? That is equal to minus 250, and that's divided by what? A minus 50, and so that is equal to 5. And then we have z, that is equal to d of z divided by d, and that is equal to what? The 200 divided by the minus 50, and that is equal to a minus 4. All right, so this was meant to be a little bit of a recap on determinants and how to use determinants really to solve for unknowns in equations. And we can deal with equations of 2 unknowns, 3 unknowns, 4 unknowns, etc. So we'll be using this in other aspects of our course where we have equations to solve. I'll see you next time.